Hi YouTubers and Larry Hall and the Rain Grow Gutter Group. This is my garden this year. Back here in the square foot gardens, I found out that the bottoms were rotting out. I don't know, I think they're 4 or 5 years old now. So this spring I took all the soil out and I put it on a tarp, and then took the bottoms off and took up the patio blocks. You can see them over there in the corner, and set the boxes back down on sand, and then amended the soil and put it back in the boxes and planted strawberries. The strawberries were bare roots when I started, and they're about a foot tall now. I've been picking off the flowers and I'm picking off the runners and just trying to get them established. To amend the soil, I took 2 buckets of the soil, put it in a wheelbarrow, added a bucket of cow manure, a little bit of, what was it? Kelp, dried kelp, I think. And then 2 tablespoons of blood meal and 2 tablespoons of bone meal, and I used about, I'd say one of those red Dixie cups full of gardening lime. I don't know, maybe that's 2 cups. And a handful of Epsom salts. Mix that up, put it back in there, and you can see they're doing pretty good. So anyway, this is a 4x4 and the other 2 are 2x8s. There's 210 strawberry plants in here. Every square has 4 plants, so I'm expecting a whole bunch next year. And if I get enough, we'll make some wine. Back there I got a little got some volunteer dill. I don't know if you can see it. There's a pot of variegated thyme. Let's see, I think, yeah, that's the lemon tree, and that's a little lime tree. They're miniatures. I thought, well, that's kind of neat. You know, I'll have to take them in the winter, but. And lemongrass. And over here's a few more herbs, and let's see, it's really hot and it's rained about every day. Last year we had a drought, and this year too much rain, but I'm not going to complain about that. Larry wanted me to try the kiddie pool setup, and I had extra tomato plants, so that's where I put those. I have about 4 or 5 bags in each pool, and I'd say maybe 3 inches up on each sides of the pools. I've drilled holes in them so that extra water could drain out. Most of these are determinate aromas. You can see some. There's a bunch right there. And along the railroad ties, I planted 4 zucchini plants because they take up a lot of room. There's 2 more kiddie pools. Oh, in my Back to Eden style asparagus garden, which this is the 2nd year, and I didn't pick them. I wanted them to establish their roots better. We've had, they've had an infestation of asparagus beetles here this last week, so I've been treating that with pyrethrin spray, and that's working. But then the rain washes it off, and so I got to do it again. And then up here we added 2 more gutter systems this year. There's a total of 8 gutters, and between 80 and 90 bags and kitty litter buckets. I like the bags a lot better, just because, you don't really have to worry about those as much as you do the buckets. I put 2 gutters in front of these 2 for flowers, just to try to attract some bees, because I've not seen any bees. And all I did with this is I just put the caps on the ends and then drilled some holes in the bottom and filled it with just some dirt. Actually, I just put Miracle Grow in there. I like to mix my own soil, but this year, the time, you know, there's been so much rain and everything, and it was cold for so long in the springtime, I didn't really have enough time to do anything. Amending the buckets was enough. So this part, it gets shady fairly soon, so that's where I put all my salad stuff. And then I put a trellis here in the front, and back there is the cucumber, and they're going to grow up and down. And I suppose they might hang on the ground, but that's all right. Over here is another new system. These are all cucumbers in here. Be quiet. And parsley. I think there's 39 cucumber plants. And I'm hoping to get enough cucumbers before the cucumber beetles overtake me. And I put dill in there to grow too. And like I said, I put a trellis in front so they'll just grow down to the ground. These are Rutledge tomato plants, and I really didn't realize that they were determinate until after I had them in there. I haven't been pruning my tomatoes as much as last year. I'm still pruning some. I like to take the leaves off the bottoms. It helps them to stay a little healthier. And I left more leaves on the top and more, like little suckers. I'm still pruning the suckers off, but I'm leaving more on there because, it's been so hot lately. I want to provide them with more shade. Here's my cat, Mr. Stripes. Hello, mister. These are determinate. I think big boys and, I can't remember. I planted 4 or 5 different varieties. And there's cherry plants, too. Cherry tomatoes, I mean. Back here I planted cantaloupe and watermelon. I put a trellis up for them, but I expect they'll be going all over the place. You can see how nice the tomato plants are looking. I do need to take a little time and, get them up on, weave them and, maybe tie a few. But it's been so wet, I don't like to really handle them when it's wet. These are my peppers. I have a few beets planted back here, which bugs got to. And then these are more determinate tomato plants. And I amended the soil the same way I did in the back. I took, pretty much the same way. Up here I didn't know exactly, I didn't in the back either, but I didn't know how much manure and nutrients were still left over from last year. So up here what I did was I took 3 buckets and took 1 bucket of manure and the other amendments. You can see the nice little tomatoes that are coming on. There's a whole bunch of them. And then here's the cucumbers up here. They're looking pretty good. They're getting a little bit of, I don't know. I probably need to spray some fungicide on them because of all this wet weather. But it won't stay on there because it keeps raining. But I think tomorrow they said it's not going to rain. There's a Swiss chard. I planted 4 in a bucket, and they need to be picked. And my spinach, it's bolting because it's too hot now. But I'm just going to plant more beets in there. And those are radishes down there. I like these Walmart bags. And if you see that brown stuff in the top, and you might wonder what that is, it's just lime. I thought plenty of lime, and then I found a couple of tomatoes with a little blossom end rot. So I thought, well, I'll add some more. So I put about, 3/4 of a cup of lime on top of each one, and it's going to rain this afternoon later, so that'll soak on in. And if you didn't watch my videos last year, this deck was going to be a screened-in room, and we've never completed it. So I figured, well, it's just empty space hanging off the front of the house. So I decided to use this for the gutters, because you need a pretty level space for them. And then my husband, he built this trellis system, or we kind of built it together. They're 2x8s. You see down there is the gutters. And what my husband did was he put a end piece there on both ends to make them a little more sturdy. Well, it just worked perfect for the trellis. So we built basically, well, here it might show a little better. Put a 2x4 on the top, made them 10 feet long and 8 feet high, and then put 2x4s in the middle there going across to brace them, and we screwed them in, and then I put that trellis netting on them. So, I can't think of anything else to tell you. Everything's going well, even though it's hot and it's humid and it's raining a lot, and everything's going pretty good. Got any questions, leave me a comment. Thanks.